Well, it looks like we have a good old horse race going on in Kentucky. Recent polling puts Mitch McConnell slightly behind his Democratic challenger, Allison Grimes. Now, understand, 2014 is a long way away. Nonetheless, public policy polling has been doing some polls, and their polling puts Grimes ahead of Mitch McConnell by 1 point, by the margin of error, 45 to 44%. Now, the poll questionnaire had asked, after 30 years in the U.S. Senate, do you believe Republican Mitch McConnell deserves re-election or not? 54% of respondents said no, and only 38% said yes. Oh, it's not looking good. Now, why? Well, it's because of Mitch McConnell's obstruction. That's one thing. And it's also some of the positions that McConnell has been taking. For example, McConnell is in support of reforming entitlements. Now, of course, whenever a politician talks about reforming entitlements, it means cutting them. Keep it real. He wants to do that to Social Security, Medicare, you name it. He wants to cut it. Now, this is going to hurt a lot of people in Kentucky, and these people know that. And in fact, according to the poll, 52% of those polled said cutting Social Security would make them less likely to support McConnell. 33% didn't really care, and interesting. And 15% said it would make them more likely to support Mitch McConnell. Only 15%. Not very popular. Speaking of popularity, only 40% of those surveyed approve of the job he's been doing in Washington, but 51% disapprove of the way he's doing his job, or really not doing his job, because all he's been doing is pretty much obstructing everything. Now, in April, and you're going to love this, in April, found McConnell to be America's most unpopular senator. That is, of course, until the next month when Jeff Flake of Arizona took the top spot because of the fact that he voted against the incredibly popular background check bill right after the Newtown shootings. All right, so what does the McConnell campaign have to say about some of these polls? Well, the McConnell campaign spokesman came out and said, quote, this is just George Soros and the Obama allies are up to the same old tricks. They have concocted another fictitious poll that has no basis in reality, held it for 10 days, and released it at the perfect time in the news cycle to help their upstart liberal candidate. This poll has zero credibility and should be ignored out of hand. And I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you young whippersnappers. That's about what it sounds like. And I think it's just hilarious how they use George Soros as he's like the, boogeyman or something. He's going to pop out of every corner and say boo. I don't know. So what I think is that I really think that the McConnell campaign, they're scared. They're running scared because they know that Mitch is not popular. Now, Mitch McConnell has the power of incumbency. And so I wouldn't, I wouldn't really get ahead of myself here and say that Grimes is going to win. We still have a long way to go till 2014. And Mitch McConnell has incumbency, which is a very powerful tool here in Washington. And he also has boatloads of money. And he's actually already started attacking Grimes with ads. Now, I want to show you a snippet of one of the ads that the McConnell campaign has actually ran a couple of months ago against Grimes. Now, check this out.
Me, I want to thank Allison Linder.
What's wrong with Allison Linder? What's wrong with Allison Linder? What's wrong with Allison Linder? What's wrong with Allison Linder?
That is absolutely a ridiculous ad. a little catchy, but come on. I think an intern probably put that together. Somebody who probably should be working in the music industry, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, they're desperate, and they're actually really, really scared of this challenger, because this is just Grimes being so close. And yeah, she's within the margin of error, but come on, they're worried. They're a little bit worried. Now, of course, going to Allison Grimes' senior advisor, Jonathan Hurst. Now he says, quote, "It's no surprise that Kentucky voters have had enough of Mitch McConnell's partisan gridlock. For 30 years, McConnell has been the embodiment of all that is wrong with Washington and has no problem turning his back on Kentucky's middle class. He also has no problem turning his back on the poor and pretty much anybody who does not give him a check. He is a really good political strategist. He knows how the game is played. But I think he's gotten a little too cocky. And he's used the filibuster way too many times, and Americans are catching on. So how many times has McConnell used a filibuster? Well, he has used a filibuster 319 times. 124 of those times were during the last 4 years of Obama's presidency. And that does not count the current Congress. Now, and it's pretty funny, a couple of days ago, there was an event in which Grimes and McConnell were both there, the farm something, right? And during a speech during that, she had said, if the doctors told Senator McConnell he had a kidney stone, he would refuse to pass it. Awesome. But, like I said before, 2014 is a long ways away. And before they get to there is a primary challenger on the right named Matt Bevin. He's challenging Mitch McConnell. He's a Tea Party Republican, so it's going to be a very fascinating horse race before we even get to 2014. And you better believe the negative ads, even worse and more ridiculous ads, are on their way. You know it. It's going to be a fun election year.